Tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okello. I am excited to be here with you for another amazing episode of the African Father in America podcast. I am in Seattle, Washington, and I am really excited to share with you today's proverb. Our proverb today is from the East African region, but also we are here with a special guest who is coming to us live and direct from the coastal part of Kenya. Our guest today is Oscar Ikinya. Oscar, how are you doing? Say hi to our viewers and listeners before we continue our conversation.
How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is having a good time, and I'm excited to be here. I'm happy to have this conversation.
Excellent. Thank you for making the time to join us for today's conversation, Oscar. We are actually live on TikTok, we are live on Facebook, we are live on LinkedIn, we are live here on YouTube as well, and also on Twitter. So if you're watching the show, it doesn't matter where you are. I just want you to, if you're on Twitter, make sure you share this live. Make sure you share this live with the rest of the world so that we can get more people from the village joining us for this conversation. And if you are on YouTube, make sure you also share the live, give this video a thumbs up, and comment down below. When you comment, also share with us where you are exactly in the world so that we can know who is joining us for today's conversation. As usual, for every episode of the African Father in America podcast, we have beautiful African proverbs, and today is no exception. Our proverb today is really nice. It says that experience is a comb which nature gives to men when they are bald. Experience is a comb which nature gives to men when they are bald. I want to quickly go to the three nuggets of wisdom that are related to our proverb today. These are the ideas that we picked from these proverbs as potential lessons that you could take away. And then after that, I'll jump into a conversation with my special guest who is also going to just give us his own perspective about this proverb. And then after that, we are going to learn a little more about his work, the work he's doing as the founder of Mwani Africa over there in Mombasa, Kenya. And then we'll continue the conversation like that. But for now, here are the three nuggets of wisdom. The first one says that experience is a valuable tool that helps us navigate life's challenges and helps us make better decisions. Unless you have experience. Sometime I was talking to a friend yesterday, another business owner here in the Seattle area, and he was we were talking about just the struggle of starting a business from scratch, and how sometimes that experience you actually pay for it. You pay for it by eating up losses in your business. You pay for it by putting in time that you cannot get back. So what this nugget of wisdom is saying here is that experience is so valuable. It's a tool that can help you navigate life's challenges and make better decisions. So once you have an experience, you know what you went through, and if you're going through a similar situation, if you're taking a similar path, you will know how to navigate that path. Number two, this is the second nugget of wisdom. It says that we can learn from our mistakes and use our experience to grow and develop as individuals. Yeah, so if you don't learn from your previous mistakes, then you still have a lot to learn, and maybe you can't be helped if you repeat the same mistakes over and over again. Maybe you need to try a new path, so that you don't make the same mistakes. Number three, just as a comb helps us to groom and maintain our hair, experience helps us to shape and refine our skills and our abilities. I love that. I love that. Oscar, what do you think about this proverb? Experience is a comb which nature gives to men when they are bald. What does it bring to your mind?
Well, you see, when you're bald, you don't need the comb. You probably need the comb more when you have hair. There's a similar proverb I'd relate that to, which says that the youth is wasted on the young. When so the experience, you see, by the time you're getting the knowledge after having gone through the experience, you probably are in the know-how, and maybe don't have much use for the knowledge. But had you had it before, then it's sort of like a catch-22 situation where you don't really get what you want when you want it. That's my humble take.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. What you want comes when you're ready for the next experience, when you're ready for the next challenge. I love that.
Yeah.
One of the questions I love asking my guests here, Oscar, is for you to take us back to your childhood, maybe when you were 8 to 16 years old, something that when you look back, it actually reminds you of why you do what you do. For example, with your work, with Mwani. But I also know that you've had so many other incredible, but also traumatizing experiences in life, because I've heard your story multiple times. But when you look back at your childhood, is there a story that you'd like to share with our audience members today that can just tell them about what inspires and what drives you today as a leader?
Like you say, my life has been a little interesting. I went to boarding school pretty early at 8 years of age, the same age you mentioned. So that brought, memories of going to a boarding school. And back then there was corporal punishment. There was a bit of bullying also. So from 8 years up to 18, I've been through boarding school. And one of the lessons I picked very early in life is that we are basically by ourselves. We all aspire to have support systems, but at the end of the day, when all is said and done, you really have yourself. So it's in your best interest to be resilient, to develop yourself, to have your best interests, to be gentle to yourself. A lot of people forget that. We are very hard on ourselves. And, at the end, when all is said and done, when the time comes, you will live by yourself. So that's one thing that has stuck to me. Like you rightfully said, I've had a traumatic experience. I am a bomb blast survivor. The 98 bombing of the U.S. Embassy, where over 200 people lost their lives. I happened to be in the building that was next to the embassy, the building that came down on us. And out of the 15 people, only 5 people survived. I'm really grateful I'm one of them. So that incident taught me that life is fickle. 1 minute you're there, the other minute you're not there. So live a good life. Be good to people, be good to yourself, and anything can happen anytime. What to say? Thank you so much, Javan.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. For all that you do, for your community now, despite all that you had to go through earlier, in life. I want you to just walk us through a bit of the work that Mwani is doing now. Why is this important to you? But also when you look at the work you do and the stories you just shared with us and the experiences you went through, what is it that makes you most proud, that you'd like all our viewers to know about the work that you do? What is it about it that makes you most proud?
I believe that we were put here to make life a better place. It doesn't, and sorry for the background noise. Where I am is a bit noisy. I apologize for that. So we are put on this earth to make it better, to leave a better place for our children, if you may. And one of my driving forces is, try do good, make an impact where you can. And that is what led me to form Mwani Africa. So the experience I shared, my terror attack, it made me retire early to the coast, to a life of, I thought I'd just have my small garden and my small goats and, live a peaceful life in the ocean. But then when I moved to the coast, I found a lot of poverty, a lot of need. They practice a bit of agriculture and fishing. With the climate change, the fishing is becoming more and more challenging. With agriculture, it only has one rain season, and more often than not, it fails. And then something even more destructive was happening. There's something called an algae bloom, an overgrowth of seaweed. Seaweed is a very good thing. The fish eat it. It has, they say it has 92 of the 102 minerals that the body needs. It's a good thing. But when it overgrows,
Yeah, we are losing Oscar
then
there.
it becomes it smooths everything and creates dead zones where it goes in its wake. Imagine something 20 tons heavy and 9,000 kilometers long. If it comes and sweeps a place, you can imagine. And then when it ends to the beaches, which is what made me aware of it, and starts rotting, it gives off a dangerous, toxic, noxious gas. In addition to affecting tourism and livelihoods, nobody wants to go to a beach that is full of brown, smelly stuff. So quite a few people have been affected by the same. And that made me want to do something about it, which is what led to Mwani Africa. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, it's it's the product and the plant that you're talking about, seaweed, which is what makes what is it called? It makes sea moss.
Gel.
Yeah.
Beauty products.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's such a powerful food. It's a very powerful food, but a lot of people in Africa, especially Kenya, don't even know about it. So how are you guys educating people locally about it? Because here in the diaspora it's very popular, and people it's not as popular as I would like to. It's very popular in the black community, and just in the community of people who like natural foods, but tell me more about how you guys are educating people locally about it.
Yeah, there are over 2,000 species that have yet to be commercialized. So the potential is a lot. We are really excited about that. So for education purposes, I love going from community to community, sensitizing people. Tanzania, our neighbors, who are the largest cultivators of seaweed, we have two varieties of sea moss that are cultivated here. So the Tanzania, I was there last year for their seaweed day, and it was amazing to see how it has transformed lives, especially with women and the youth. So with those pictures, with that narrative, I'm able to come here and tell people that you have a resource here, ocean, and by doing something not so difficult, seaweed farming is not so difficult, then you're able to earn something from it. The community that I've tried empowering makes beauty products with it, the soaps, the lotions, then the food products, like you mentioned, the CMOS gel. And it has really transformed lives. You get to see the schools that have been built from it, the livelihoods that have been affected, and talking about it, moving from village to village and sharing the experience. It's an amazing thing. Yeah, my dream right now, the seaweed farming that happens is in small pockets in the south coast. So my dream is to fill the whole Kenyan ecosystem, the whole Kenyan shoreline with seaweed farms, where it's viable, and hopefully positively impact lives. It hasn't been an easy journey, I'll tell you for sure.
Yeah.
But well, nothing good's come easy. I think
No.
I don't know if they've covered that proverb, but they say nothing. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty exciting journey. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a journey that has taken me far. I was among the only six people chosen across Africa to pitch in February in the Oceans Africa in Africa Oceans Innovation Challenge in Africa, a summit, and that was pretty exciting for me. I have been invited to the US to give a presentation on the same this September. I really hope I can make it. The resources that are needed, that had to come by. The visas, there's a huge backlog of visas. So getting that might be a challenge, but it's a story I want to share with the world. I want people to realize that there's an opportunity here, and given the support, lives can be touched and transformed positively. And not only that, Javan, I don't know that you're aware, but seaweed has been said to sequester more carbon than ocean forests. I mean forests.
Yeah, that
So
I did not
there's
know. That's really interesting. Say more about that.
So there's a climate change mitigation angle to it. There are actually people who grow seaweed just to sequester carbon and cool the planet. There's also the carbon offset by transforming our food, the demand. You see, we are growing population now. By transforming the food demand to the ocean, and considering seaweed as a source of food, just like the Asians consume a lot of seaweed in their diets, and you can easily tell the effect. They don't age as fast. So by offsetting that, and considering that it takes quite a bit of of carbon to say plant maize, corn, or other food crops, while it takes hardly any carbon at all to do that in the ocean. There's a huge climate angle to it. I did mention about the blooms. Allow me to talk a bit about that also. What happens with the blooms is that we cut down our trees. We use inorganic fertilizers in our agriculture. So wind blows the soil to our rivers. When it rains, the runoff to the rivers together with the inorganic fertilizers. all these end up in the ocean, and it is that creates a conducive environment for the blooms to occur, and seaweed grows like crazy. Now, my thinking is this: if the scientists are saying that some of these fertilizers that we use, say the phosphates, are going to be extinct, the production is not it's exhaustible at some point.
Thank you all for joining us. This is
Bloom
the
part,
keep
and then
going.
recirculate the same for fertilizer, for our own consumption, and arrest this before they get to the bloom. Then we'll be mitigating the bloom in the first place, and we'll be getting back the nutrients in a circular manner. I don't know about you, Javan, but to me that sounds like a win-win.
It does. It does. It does. It does. It does. Thank you, Oscar. And that's a lot of information that I just think we need to have more and more additional conversation around it. Then thank you to everyone who is joining us on YouTube, everyone who is joining us across the internet, on TikTok. We are having a conversation here in the African Father in America podcast. My guest is Oscar Ikinya, who is the founder of Mwani, and he's sharing with us a lot of information about the work that he does back in Kenya. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. I think we lost Oscar here for a moment. I'll just bring him back on. Hey, Oscar. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, so about that.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, so, I want you to just share with everyone who is watching, how they can stay connected with you, and also how they can support the work that you're doing and support you so that you can continue doing this incredible work that you do.
Thank you so much, Javan, for the opportunity. So I can share my number. You can always reach me on WhatsApp. My number is +254 723 754 597. So that's +254 723 754 597. Or they can write me an email at Mwani. Mwani is seaweed in Kiswahili. Mwani.africa@yahoo.com.
Excellent. So, Oscar, when you think about our conversation today, and also you do a lot of things. I think if we wanted to talk, we could talk for another 2 hours, 3 hours, even the whole day. But is there something specific that you want to talk about in closing that I might have not asked you, that you just want to make sure everybody who is listening and watching also, leaves our conversation with today as, your parting shot?
First, let me thank you for the work that you do. Passing on indigenous wisdom has, people are starting to realize it. I think in the last the last COP, they talked about indigenous wisdom quite a bit. And, the proverbs that you pass, that is wisdom that was passed from way before. I'd like to encourage you and thank you for this opportunity. I'd also like to get my voice out there. Like I'd mentioned, I've been invited to the US, and I'm in I'm in need of the resources. If anybody anywhere can think of how our voice can get outside there, and it will be touching quite a few lives, quite a number of lives, including the world. The US, where you are, Javan, has suffered from these blooms, sargassum blooms, and by sharing some of my innovations with them, maybe no, I could say something that could help someone somewhere. But all said and done, I am really grateful for this, and maybe look forward for another opportunity where I can, come on stage. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Oscar. And I know that today, I didn't prepare well for this conversation. If I knew it was you coming to the show, I would have been much better prepared, because there's a lot that we could have covered. So we have to do part two. We have to do part two where you are at a quiet place where the internet is stable, and I am also ready, because I think outside of all the work you do, I think you're also a historian. You have a lot of information, and especially about Kenya, about nature, about sustainability, and also just dealing with trauma and healing and so many things. So I just want to commend you. I have personally, benefited from your efforts. I have personally consumed the CMOS from the farms and the projects that you work with. I've shared it with a number of my friends here in the US who are also in the CMOS business. They've tested the quality of the CMOS from the part of Kenya where you come from, and they love it. So, I look forward to continuing to connect, collaborate, and do more together. So just keep up, the work that you do, and this is your platform. If you have other moments where you're doing a big project that you want people to know about, don't hesitate to reach out. Asante sana. Asante sana.
Thank you, Javon.
Yes. So this marks the end of our time together today. Before we go, I just want to remind everyone who is watching about the Madaraka Festival that is happening on May 16th in New York, May 21st in Atlanta, May 24th in Dallas, and May 26th in Seattle. Send me a DM if you want to learn more, but go to madarakafestival.com and get your tickets before they run out. Oscar, asante sana. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. I've always dreamt of retiring where you retired, so if you have a piece of land there, let me know. Take care of yourself.
Hopefully when you come, the beaches will be much cleaner.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Blessings.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington.